Okay.
Good morning, it's 9 o'clock, August the 8th, 2022, and our regular Commissioners Court meeting is now in session. First item on the agenda is roll call by our County Clerk, Mary Jane Rodalvino. Selican, good morning.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Good morning.
Judge Rathmo.
Present.
Commissioner Mendoza.
Present.
Commissioner Elizondo. Commissioner Solis.
Present.
Commissioner Garza.
Present.
Judge, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is our invocation. Dr. Roger Ritter, Commissioners Court Chaplain.
Good morning.
Dr.
I just want to say I count this an honor to truly be here with you this morning, each time we meet. So to give the opportunity for all of us to come before God and to kind of focus our thoughts, it's priceless.
We feel the same way, Doctor.
So let's pray this morning. If you bow your heads with me as I lead out. Our Father, we come here this morning asking for your help in one thing. Help us to slow down and breathe. Father, our lives become overwhelmed with the need tos, the have tos, and the want tos. But call us to yourself this morning so that we may truly see the priorities of our lives. May we see the greatest priority of life is our need to you, to connect to you. So first, we thank you for all the blessings we've received from your hand. We thank you for our families, our community, and our freedoms. We thank you that we live in the greatest country in the world, and however easy it is for the media pundits to attempt to destroy that, let us seek to see your hand at work in the affairs of this nation. So today we're privileged to experience the blessing of self-government in this community. We thank you for the men and the women who have accepted the responsibility to lead us. So we ask today that you especially direct them, our judge and commissioners, our elected and appointed leaders, so that they would discharge their duties to this community in a way that honors you. Grant to each of them health, knowledge, wisdom, and mercy. In Christ's name we pray this morning. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 4, communications, commissioners. Anything going on since the last meeting? I think we've had quite a few events. Probably should get started, with some really good news. Congressman Webb was here last week, and of course we had over the years made an effort to see how we could improve the facilities at our fire station, and we've been working on trying to receive some federal funding to build them the facility they need and deserve. And he did bring some good news, an appropriation of $1.1 million for the construction of the fire station. Of course, the county will match some additional funds. And I think we've got one more hurdle to clear at the end of the year to make that a reality. I think the final appropriation will be in the final bill in Congress at the end of the year. But we're very close. I think it looks really good for our community and for our firefighters to have a facility they desperately need. We also have been working on of course, everybody has seen our lake levels and stories as to Zapata running out of water. Certainly that's not the case. We are near historic lows in our lake, but last week and the week before, we've been actively looking for ways to improve access to the river. I think what's hurting our pumping facility is 70 years of sedimentation almost that the lake was built has certainly brought little or no depth in the river channel, which is what we have now. The Falcon Lake, the body of the lake has long since gone south of us. So we've got a muddy river that we need to be able to draw water from with our current facilities. And we were able to accomplish that. We've been working on it, trying to dredge just a better area to where we can actually, if need be, install our portable pumping units. Currently, we still have some clearance on our fixed structure. Our electric pumps are working fine, but just in case the river continues to drop, we will continue to have access. And we've also sought emergency help also for Sister Shores with their water district. And we're in line to receive $1 million of funding, emergency funding through USDA for both Zapata County and Sister Shores. And I certainly want to thank the Congressman for for helping us out with that. He's been very proactive, set up meetings with the highest level officials, and I certainly want to thank especially the IBWC Commissioner for being very receptive to what has been occurring in our area, and she has even agreed to bring additional equipment, which should be arriving today, to begin some limited, we'll see the amount of dredging on the lake, but it's certainly a good start, and I certainly want to thank Congressman Cueto for all his help. I think they will be starting, I believe, the dredging in it's just the shores. Their needs are more critical at the current moment, so they will be moving in the equipment for Sister Shores hopefully today, and we'll be meeting with them today. I did meet, of course, this is not a Zapata crisis only, it's the all regional crisis from Amistad all the way down to the valley. The mayor of Laredo, Pete Sine, did invite me to attend a meeting with his city manager and members of the Rio Grande International Studies Center, and of course, experts on what the lake levels currently are, and moving the next few months if we don't receive any beneficial rains, what things would look at. You know, City of Laredo, with 250,000 inhabitants, also relies solely on the Rio Grande. So they discussed possibly secondary water sources, but immediately their immediate response is what we are already doing is water conservation. I want to, acknowledge our waterworks director, and really the people of Zapata have heard the call, and the water use has been reduced since we went into the emergency status, and that certainly is helping with our pumping. We're looking into sources. We talked about recycling water. We're also, unfortunately, Zapata County, we don't have any large known aquifers, but certainly we'll look at any avenues into the future. But certainly a secondary water source is something that I think every community along the river, which I think depends entirely on the Rio Grande for their water, is looking into, and hopefully we can get some beneficial rains in the next few months. What was concerning was some of the experts that were on the call, and that during the meeting there in the mayor's office, basically concluded and have a 90-day window in the river. Once the 90-day window passes, which is sometime in October, and there are no increase in substantial increases in the river system of water, then certainly things may get a little tougher for us, for everyone on the river, just not Zapata. But as long as the river is flowing through our community, we will make every effort to continue to access and bring water to our community. So I would just urge the public to continue your conservation efforts and help us out with that. I think I did hear some reports that we had 2 months of water left. That's certainly not the case. The river is flowing through our community, and we are continuing to access the water. I think today's level, I think, is at 253.20, which is it's not at a historic low. We've been lower. The lake has been lower. I think in 2001 we were even a few feet lower than this, and so, but that is still 48 feet low below conservation level. And certainly it has been devastating economically to our businesses and our tourism. There is no access to the lake for any type of recreation or boating in our area that I'm aware of. But certainly that is concerning. We'll keep on praying for rain, and hopefully we'll get a huge rain event. And at the same time, with the $1 million emergency grant that we are receiving, I'm saying yes in the next few days. We should be able to improve our infrastructure at the raw water intake, bring in additional pumps, bring in additional backup pumps, improve access for our pumps to be set at the river, and the same will be done for Ship to Shore. So even in times of distress, these monies will help and improve our system moving forward. So we are looking forward to those monies coming in and improving our water system. Commissioner, any other communications? I know we had, I think.
Backpack.
Okay.
Commissioner, and who else did you have any event?
I have no event.
Your event?
Yeah, we did have the back to school kids, backpack drive. We were able to give close to 700 backpacks to the youth in our community, so that went really well there at the Flores Park. So everybody's excited. The school district was present and very involved, and everybody's hyped up to start a new successful school year, so we're looking forward to that.
And with the USDA, you know, that you're saying about USDA helping out Zapata, I know that we're still working on those applications for those
Yes.
people that need, any kind of repairs in their homes. I know that, well, I'm glad to say that several, families have actually
Yes.
already
It's a
taken.
good program.
Yes, it's a good program. They've gotten the $10,000 free grant money, and they've worked on repairing either their bathrooms or, their roofs, so it's still out there for the people to actually apply.
Yes, there are several programs, USDA is one of them. I think,
Yes.
I did receive some calls, you know, prescription drugs are always, you know, on the minds of folks and be able to afford them. There is a program, currently being offered by, Corpus Christi, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, which offers a program for free prescription drugs. Their office is there at the Zapata Clinic, and I urge the public, if they're in need of any medications, and they see they'll qualify, for that program, and to take advantage of that program, so yes, absolutely. Then, any other communications? We'll move on to public comment. This section provides the public the opportunity to address the Commissioners Court on any items on the agenda. Any members of the public want to speak to the court at this time? If not, we'll move on to item number 6, approval of invoices. In your packets, Commissioners, we had invoices from July 22nd, 2022 through August the 4th, 2022, for a total of $1,029,909.51.
Motion to approve as presented.
Motion to approve invoices as presented, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 7 is approval of treasury report. Good morning, Salinas.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Distributed the first reports in front of you. The first page I want to go over are investments at Zapata National Bank. And those investments total $10,058,633.44. And the interest recorded for the month was $2,944.08. And year to date, those investments have earned $49,939.13. The following page shows our checking accounts, and on the operating account had a beginning balance of $951,390.76, and we ran deposits of $3,816,000. Expense out of there $2,605,000, leaving an ending balance at the end of the month after we reconcile the account $2,162,814,469. Then you have the general fund, special road and bridge, waterworks at a beginning balance of $112,246.04. We had deposits of $149,686.03. We expensed out of there $8,541.31 and left with an ending balance of $253,390.76 at the end of the month. The beginning balance for all those checking accounts was $3,553,745.58. Deposits into those different accounts was $5,518,579.43. What we expensed out of those accounts was $3,787,42.67. And the ending balance for all the accounts at the end of the month was $5,285,282.33.
Just on the large revenue or deposits, it was, we did receive, I guess, the second half of the American Rescue Plan.
Yes.
And so, I think that was a little over $1.3 million, so.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Then the other page shows all the other accounts held by other elected officials. I'll just share the total at the beginning of the month for all the accounts was $1,534,319.36. And then at the end of the month, after we reconciled, we had an ending balance of $1,601,177.36 for those checking accounts there. The check issues out of the general operating account was $1,484,476.44, and year to date we issued $17,959,710.68. And the following page shows the total amount of checks issued from the different funds for the month was $2,191,289.02. The following report is our electricity and our water, payment. We didn't record the July because it's still under review at the auditor's office, so, the checks haven't gone out, so that's why you don't see an amount posted. But as soon as they run the process of payment, we'll go ahead and issue the payment to the electricity company. So we didn't record anything because we didn't make the payment in the month of July. But for the water, department, we issued a payment for $8,299.25 for the month. Following page, Commissioners, our oil and gas, direct deposit came in at $14,801.02 for the month of July, and you can see there an increase of over, half of what we received in the month of June. In June, we received a payment of $5,692, and, so that's, I wish I could see those numbers every month. I don't know if,
Well, it depends on the price of natural gas, and it is high. It's gone up substantially. I think it's close to the $7 to $8 for a cubic foot. So, I think for the foreseeable future, we should be able to see those type of revenues. And across, the entire county, I think it'll be certainly helpful as we, move forward to increase our revenues for the county and the school district. You'll see an increase in valuations, probably next year. And it's actually having a result that we're actually seeing a few drilling rigs in our county, so which has not been seen for many years. I think there's actually 3 active rigs working in our county and drilling gas wells, so it's a good sign.
yeah, it's a good sign. We've seen that, moving around the community, so, with, finding out the price of gas has, gone up, it shows, it reflects on our report. We had budgeted, Judge, you had budgeted $57,000 for, the revenues for this year, and we're up 171% collection rate. So, we've, received $97,859.68, so far, this fiscal year, and we still have August and September to report.
Yeah.
So that's very good news, on those, revenues coming into the county. The next report is the rental income for the month of July. We recorded Sunny National Civic Center deposited $200, and if you go across, make sure it's, the pavilion deposited $2,660. The Zapata Community Center, $1,100. The Zapata County Swimming Pool deposited $1,556.50. The San Ignacio Swimming Pool, revenues came in at $559.40. And those are all the revenues from the facilities that we rent out to our community. Following report are the, deposits by our county clerk and fund 10 for the month of July. $4,214.35 was deposited to fund 10. $12,999.20. Our district clerk deposited into fund 10. $3,165, and to fund 15, $42. And at the very end, our sales tax, direct deposit came in at $152,391.98. And, we're at 81.91 on our sales tax. We had, budgeted $2 million, so we're at $1,638,000 on our sales tax revenues. So,
It'll be very close.
it'll work out at the end of the fiscal year. Following report,
And the ARM ordinance also is, I think, way ahead of what we had budgeted, which is the maquinitas in our community, but,
yes.
we didn't, I guess for the year, $1,605,000 came in, as far as the fees, the permitting fees, for those establishments. But I think that the number we should really concentrate on is $845,000 is what came in at the renewal period, and I think moving forward, we may have to use that number, as the expectation of what'll come in. In the proposed budget, I added a little bit more just because sometime during the year, they do open establishments, but I think, from 840 to $1 million, I think is what we can expect to see. But this year, of course, $1,605,000 came in.
Right, like you mentioned, that you had budgeted $1,100,000, and we're up to $1,605,000.
Yeah.
And that's 145% collection rate that I have at the bottom of the report. But yeah, you're correct, that's the amount that we're gambling with, because, we don't collect it till towards the end of the fiscal year. So if for some reason they don't open, we won't receive those revenues, so, but yeah, that's what we have presently, so that's good news. Following report is the landfill, the first one for the month of July, deposited $25,200, that's the payment that they did to the county. The jail, $233,644.64. Jail telephone, $5,304.02. Jail bond fees, $255. And at the very last column, the EMS department brought in $85,477.87. So you've got the running totals at the bottom. The report is very lengthy, so I know we have a long agenda. The following report are the collections by our JPs. JP number 1 for the month of July collected $9,411.82. JP number 2, $9,084.55. JP number 3, $3,024.33, and JP number 4, $5,917.89. And then at the very end, there's just a few pages here. That's our overtime report to the waterworks for your review. That's requested by the board, and that's the end of my report.
Motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Motion to approve treasurer's report as presented by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8 is approval of checks issued. And in your package, we have checks from 7/22/2022 through 8/4/2022 for a total of $1,029,909.51.
Motion moved.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza to approve checks issued as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 9 is tax assessor collectors departmental report. Good morning, Ms. Mendoza.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Members of the court and visitors. Okay, first of all, I'd like to go ahead and mention that we have about the Texas Homeowners Assistance Fund has helped out 140 households.
It's very incredible, yes.
And at half of the total amount, which was $535,820, I would say that we would be getting a little bit over.
Well, almost half, like 49%, yes.
Yeah, about 267,000.
Okay.
Pretty much, so that one's working well, we're still applying, you know, we're like, whatever they
I
can
guess
help
that
with.
there's no fixed deadline on the program,
No.
we'll just keep applying.
We'll just keep applying, and if they help, fine, and if they don't,
Very well, good.
we try. Okay, so for our monthly report, in our collections, we have a 90.69% collection as of today. Last year was at 89.60. And current collections, we have on the current collections is $65,779.67. For the delinquent, it's $67,568.34. Penalty and interest, $51,567.68. Refunds, $572.29, I'm sorry, for a total of $184,343.40. For the interest and sinking, we had current collections of $27,837.72. Delinquent, we collected $26,955.16. Penalty and interest, $18,611.40. Refunds, $176.64 for a total of $73,227.64. The farm to market, which is very little, we collected the current 98 cents. Delinquent was 16.49. Penalty and interest, 25.71. No refunds for a total of $43.18. Special road and bridge, we had current collections of $7,213.48. Delinquent, $7,082.40. Penalty and interest, $5,123.10. Refunds, $62.78 for a total of $19,536.20. Delinquent, attorney fees was $36,797.44. For a total of, all of our collections was $313,767.86. Alcoholic beverage, we had $120. Tax certificates, $8. Hotel motel tax, $7,713.74. Voter registration, $60. Interest earnings, $21.09. Tax sale, $50. Okay, net collections was $321,740.69. Paid out to the treasurer was $284,944.65. In our hotel, year to date, we have $121,653.10. And so that's already over what we had
Yes.
anticipated.
Yeah, we have budgeted, $120,000, so we've got.
We're a little over, we still have a few months to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mendoza. We'll move on to the action items. We will deliberate and consider action on item number 10. It's to approve estimate for the repair of the Navideño livestock dipping vat. I received a call from Davis Livestock Inspection Service. Their scratching chute, where the cattle go through there before they're dipped in the vat, has a base or a bottom of concrete. And it's rather slippery, and cattle are falling down, injuring themselves, and making it much more difficult for them and stressful for them to go through the process. I did receive an estimate to add like a steel grid on the bottom of that chute, so the animals may gain a foothold and not slip. And it's in your packet, should be.
1,790.
Yeah, so with labor, the material, which is repaired a 30 inch by 40 foot long chute, and weld rods into the pipe. The material for the job is $490, and the labor would be $1,100, with an additional $200 for helpers, so the total is $1,790. Motion to approve by Commissioner Garza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Judge, I'll be abstaining for the record.
Okay, Commissioner Mendoza abstained. Item number 11, to distribute requested wind farm allocation to the Zapata County Independent School District Renewable Energy Scholarship for the class of 2022. As you well know, Commissioners, as part of our abatement agreement with the 2 wind projects in our county, we wanted those corporations to be good partners with our community. And for the length of the abatement, which is 10 years, each wind farm will be contributing $25,000 in each, for a total of $50,000 in scholarships to the students, graduating students of Zapata High School. Of course, those monies are funneled through the county, and we have an agreement with the school district as to see how they want to distribute those funds. This year, the school district provided us with a list of the top 30 students that would be receiving scholarships. Of course, the valedictorian would receive an amount of $7,000. The salutatorian would receive $6,000. The third and fourth students, highest ranking students, would receive $2,500 each. And then 5 through 10, those students would receive a scholarship of $2,000. And then from students ranked 11th to 30th would all receive an additional $1,000 scholarship with those funds that were created through the abatement process. And I think certainly those graduating seniors and will certainly find these additional monies very helpful to their studies. I think all of these students, and part of it is these students have to have a commitment to be attending higher education. So all these 30 individual students are furthering their education to qualify for these monies. Motion by Commissioner Garza, seconded by Commissioner Solis, to distribute in total $50,000 to the high school. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 12 is to approve invoice, from Zapata Quick Air Incorporated for the removal and replacement of a 10-ton split system for the Zapata County Pavilion. Commissioners, we had a situation there. I was informed by our supervisor that, of course, if you saw the treasurer's report, that the pavilion is the facility that is most used by our community. And that air conditioning system was, I think, 20 years old. In fact, it was using the Freon that is not available anymore. So there was no other choice than to replace it. Quick Air has done a lot of work for the county, and they installed the unit. So the unit has been installed because it was considered an emergency to consider.
Motion to approve for $12,428.
Motion to approve for $12,428, and it's got a 5-year warranty on all the compressor and a 1-year warranty on parts and labor. We got a motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item number 13 is to approve payment to Matthias Prieto for the repairs to a John Deere Fairway mower at the Los Ebanos Golf Course.
Judge, motion to approve, the total comes out to $668.19.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 14 is to appoint a Commissioners Court representative to the Board of Region Behavioral Health Center Board. Commissioner, this is a 2-year appointment. Currently, our Commissioner Mendoza is the court representative. I think moving forward, is there any motions to approve anyone?
I'll make a motion to approve Commissioner Mendoza.
There's a motion to reappoint Commissioner Mendoza, and there's a second. In discussion, I think Commissioner Mendoza has disqualified himself or made himself ineligible. He is in contempt of court. Are you all aware that the court approved an order? As we know, you are the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
The court issued an order for you to provide all the documents, financial documents to the court, and you failed on the deadline. You continue to fail to provide those documents.
We are working on that, Judge. We're focusing on the audit
You
right
have
now.
almost a year to provide those documents. We're not asking for an audit. We want the financial statements.
And we will provide those to the.
Well, you are in contempt of court as of now, as of Monday. You were during the court, so you can't deny that you were not aware.
I am aware. I've never denied that I've been aware of it.
Well, you continue to stonewall, and
I'm not stonewalling, Judge.
you stonewall all the members of the organization who have been trying to. You have a duty to provide, an obligation to provide those documents to the public, and you have failed to do that. So I don't consider the commissioner eligible to sit on any board representing the county when you're in contempt of court. It's like the court would be approving bad behavior. And I'm certainly against, I think we should send a strong message to the public that we need to be transparent, accountable to the public, and you have certainly failed in that respect. For almost a year, Commissioner, we've been dealing with this problem, and you seem to think that it's gonna blow over. If you wait long enough, people will get tired. I'm certainly not gonna get tired. We need to be transparent, and you have failed to be transparent, and that makes you, in my opinion, ineligible, and the court should not be rewarding bad behavior. We got a motion and a second. Let's vote on it, and I think I made are you willing to rescind your motion, Commissioner?
I'll rescind my motion.
Is there a motion? So we have a rescind, we rescind the motion, so are you willing to make a motion? Or?
I mean, I make a motion for Joey, Commissioner.
And
I think that would be, I think we should send a signal to the people of Zapata County that we're not gonna take, stand for this kind of behavior, but from especially elected officials who are representing the county.
Judge, I don't know if you read the letter that they sent from they highly recommended Commissioner Mendoza again.
Yes, or the commissioners can make a decision as to, I don't think they're aware of the problems we've been having throughout the year. I think if they were more aware of what Commissioners Mendoza's conduct has been over this time, then certainly they might be
using this
considered.
court to push your own personal agenda.
Absolutely
and
not.
It's getting out of hand, Judge. It's getting out of hand.
When was the first request for financial statements made to you? Wasn't that in around December?
From this court?
From the members of the organization, from members of the public.
And we have been handling that.
You have been handling by stonewalling and lawyering up
This
to
is not-
say that you don't have to do that.
Exactly, because we have
This-
certain things we have to follow as a nonprofit organization.
You are a
We not
public
part of-
institution, all the funding
We are
comes
not a
from.
part of the county, and you wanna micromanage every
No,
single
sir,
organization.
what we want
That's what you wanna
is,
do.
we want
That's
to
what
make
you wanna
sure how taxpayer funds are being spent by your organization, and you are
do.
failing.
And we will
to-
provide that.
You have not up to date, you
We will
violated a
provide
court
that.
order.
We will provide that.
You violated a court order, is he in contempt of court by violating that court order?
It was an order by the court to supply, or furnish those items, and if Your Honor finds that there has been a violation of that order, then he can be held in contempt based on that.
And he's in contempt. So we have, I second the motion to appoint Commissioner Solis
Well, that is,
to represent the county.
just so the court knows and the community knows, I have served on that board for 5 years, and I have dedicated a lot of time and energy to that board. We're working on opening a brand new facility. I spearheaded that project. I have pushed for that project to open up that brand new state-of-the-art facility here in Zapata County. Has never been done before. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're basically throwing that out.
No,
and
sir,
basically-
what I'm doing is
basically putting a spotlight
placing-
on your personal
What we're
feelings.
doing here this morning is placing a responsible individual to represent the county.
And I am a responsible individual.
Transparent
I am
and
a responsible
accountable,
individual.
and that, you are not, sir. You are not
That is your
transparent,
opinion.
and
That
you're
is
not
your opinion.
accountable, and your behavior has been totally the opposite of
That
that.
is your opinion. And
No, that is a fact.
I would ask my
That is a
colleagues
fact.
to not go along with this.
We've got a motion to rescind, and we got a motion to appoint, Commissioner Solis. I'll second that motion. Let's go to a vote. Those in favor of appointing Commissioner Solis, say aye. Raise your hand. We got two. Those opposed? Well, then we appoint Commissioner Solis, two abstain. Item number 15, to approve the use of the show barn on November 19, 2022 for the South Texas Fall Classic, a sheep and goat prospect show.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner
Second.
Gasa. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item number 16 is to approve payment of $1,807.10 to Dr. Ives for pending invoices for work done at the San Ignacio Plaza sprinkler system. Motion
Second.
to approve by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 17 is to approve a contract between Zapata County and the Zapata County Independent School District for election services for the upcoming November 8, 2022 election. Motion by Commissioner Garza,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. Jessica, what will that entail? Are you familiar with what?
For the school election,
Is there some revenue sharing, cost sharing with that?
Yes, cost sharing.
Okay, I guess next meeting we can go over the details as to what those costs may be.
they help out, like, usually it's like half.
Half, okay, that's good.
Judge, I was not provided a copy of the contract, so I cannot apprise the court as to what was on it.
Yes,
So I just have-
so we'll approve it pending your reviews, sir.
Sounds good, Judge.
We got a motion and a second to approve pending our counselor's review. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 18 is approval to rescind approved item number 15 during Commissioners Court held in July 11, 2022. Mr. Salinas, I know you've had an issue with this item. I don't understand.
Judge, good morning. The only issue that I have there, Judge, is that, there was a miscommunication and misunderstanding on my memo that was sent to, your office. And my simple request here is that, since that was not my intent for us to approve that, just for the court to resend it, and then for the same item can be put back on the agenda by somebody else, and then, I'll comply with the court orders, because that's,
Well,
understand
I
what the
think-
court wants. It's just that.
I think for the minutes,
Yeah.
Mr. Salinas, we could say that you were not sponsoring the item.
Oh.
I mean, that item was delivered,
Yeah, but it was.
hand delivered to my office.
And I-
My assistant took it that you wanted it to be sponsored,
There
but
was a memo, and that memo clearly stated that that was not my intent, so I just
think,
don't want it to reflect that I was requesting a judge, and I'm in total compliance with the court.
Okay.
As to the wishes of the court, It's just that it was not my intent to place the agenda item.
Okay, and of course, this item for the public to know is
Yeah.
for the health benefits, to potential employees that, will be temporary employees with Operation Lone Star. An update on Operation Lone Star, it has been, enacted here in our county, it's ongoing, there have been made several, arrests already. DPS has made several arrests, so, the county is participating in that initiative. In fact, we received advance funding, 1 month advance funding, for the operations to get started. So there will be no taxpayer monies used in this operation. And so I urge department heads and elected officials whose employees are participating with this event, with this initiative, to in their time sheets to include their work, their I guess percentage of work for Operation Lone Star, and so that it's been a 2-week started 2 weeks ago. We will include those payments in this upcoming payroll for all those employees involved.
Yeah.
I would say that we continue to deny this, but for the minutes, we make note that this item was sponsored by myself and not Commissioner, and not our treasurer, Salina.
Thank you, Judge, and, we will
Second.
comply with the court order.
Okay.
We will place the,
All right, motion to deny by,
invoices, but it's a 90-day waiting period, so anybody that gets hired, there's a 90.
oh, of course, yes, the probationary period will.
Okay.
It's 60 days.
Yes, okay.
Thank you very much.
We got a motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 19 is to certify the order for annual compensation for county auditor, assistant auditors, and court reporter.
Good morning, Judge, Court. Actually, this is it's not a action item, it's more of a, so it can be, in the minutes for Commissioners Court. The annual compensation hearing was held, August 2nd at 10 a.m. on the 3rd floor of the county courthouse. And, the Judge Lopez approved, slot number 1, County Auditor Triunfo Gonzalez at $65,040. Slot number 2, Deputy Auditor Roberta Smith at $36,151. Slot number 3, Deputy Auditor Diony Hernandez at $31,912. And, our court reporter at $12,842. The orders were signed August 2nd, 2022. And, I just want to get into.
Yeah, there won't be any changes from this year, but.
Correct, yes, there's no change from last year to this year.
Okay.
Motion moved.
Thank you.
Motion by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 20 is to accept the resignation of HR Administrative Assistant and to allow the HR Director to advertise and hire for that position.
Motion
Motion
approved.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Garza. Solis?
No, Garza.
Garza.
I'll be abstaining.
You'll be abstaining, okay. I think moving forward with this position, and I failed to include it in the proposed budget, the salary for this position, currently, is higher than most of, the clerks here in our, all departments, because that individual that was hired was basically a transfer, from another department, and she transferred, with her salary. I think moving forward, this salary should begin at the $10 salary, and that will allow for some of our employees not to take issue with somebody coming in and earning more than they do, that they've been working here for years. So I think this position, since we're probably gonna bring in somebody new from or I think we should designate this position as a $10 an hour position, as a starting position. I don't know if you want to include it in the item, but I certainly would prefer, I think, for the sake of all our other employees who have significant tenure with our county, and to bring in somebody for basically a clerical position at a high salary is certainly not going about it the right way, in my opinion. So you want to amend your motion to that, Commissioner, to reflect a lower salary to bring in, or you want to keep it the same?
What is the current salary in that position?
About $26,000. $12.50 an hour. And most administrative assistants who have significant tenure with our county earn right at that amount or even less. And if we bring in somebody new, certainly, I guess for morale sakes, it's not probably a good deal to do. We had that salary posted at that because I said it was a transfer and the court agreed for that individual not to lose her tenure moving to this department. But it's up to the court. I mean, I just bring it up. I think it's important that we do, as far as our salary increases, salaries do take into account that there are many individuals who are earning less, who have a lot more time than the person coming
I
in.
agree as well.
We have a motion. I don't know if you'd like to amend that to bring the salary down.
No, Judge, I'll leave it the way it is.
Okay, we gotta leave it the way it is. Is there a second to leave it the way it is?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 21, well, I'm against. Item number 21, to approve the transfer of $30,000 from the tobacco fund, line item 67-800-352, to repairs and maintenance, line item 10-543457.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. And I know, I was having a conversation with our fire chief, Danny Arriaga. Of course, we were approved 2 new ambulances, which is a very good thing for our community. The bad part about it is we're gonna have to wait maybe a year to receive them, to make them come in. So in the meantime, I think we're gonna see these line item transfers to keep your fleet going, Danny, and we'll do everything we can to make sure that your vehicles are up and ready. So got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Item number 22 is to grant AEP Texas a 20-foot easement and right-of-way at the Los Ebanos Golf Course for the purpose of bringing power to a new AT&T cell tower in adjacent property. This request was brought before the court, I guess about a month ago, since the county acquired Los Ebanos Golf Course. A cell tower has been erected on adjacent property. Our power line, our AEP power line, is on our property, and there's maybe 50 feet away from their cell tower. I think what I pushed to Mr. David Petrovitz, representing AT&T, was I think the county moving forward with a trail for the public really close to this area. It would be a nice gesture if AT&T would contribute and provide some lighting and power to that area, to that trail. They are agreeable to that request, but they would like to see some specifics. I know, Manuel, I don't know if you've been working on that project. If you have any specifics to share with us as to what that way we can approve it pending this request.
Judge, I will also mention, Judge, I reviewed the easement, Judge, and it requires, I was gonna ask the court to clarify exactly where the easement is, Judge, because we are prevented from being able to put any permanent structure on that. At least that's what the easement says, Judge.
Right.
Well, I wanna make sure that it jives with, the plan for the walking trail and all that.
Yeah, we'll be a distance from the actual easement, from the power line.
See, and I didn't know that, I
Yes.
couldn't tell from the.
Well, I think
map. It was very-
Mr. Gonzalez, who's been working on that project, will be able to inform the public.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. On the project is the Los Ebanos walking trail or multi-use trail. And on that one, what the county and what we were looking at was to do like a nature trail going from Bravo Park, going into the Los Ebanos area or excess area that's not part of the golf course, so that community can use it as a walking, exercising trail. And then when this company approached the county about getting power from the adjacent property, it is probably maybe 50 feet or less from our power lines, from the county's power lines. We would like to request that if we could put some park lighting along our trail
From their meter.
From their meter, yes. And the trail is not gonna be affected by the easement.
Right.
If
That was a concern.
If we need an actual, like, easement location, we prepare one for the county so that we have a meets and bounds for that easement, and then if you approve, then would be, then this is exactly where the easement's gonna be, and it is from their existing power to our existing power pole, but they may have to put like a guy wire or something down to make sure that the poles doesn't start leaning.
Right. Even though they said they didn't need it, I think eventually they'll probably need a guy wire to anchor the
Yeah,
the
so
post.
we do have an existing 50-foot easement, through that property, and now the county owns all of the property, but, we previously.
And they don't wanna put it in that 50-foot?
No, the 50-foot is coming from, west to east, and, that one's coming north to
So
south.
they'll basically take some of our airspace with their line.
Yes, it's basically gonna take some of our airspace,
But-
from the tower to one of our power poles.
But I think in turn, I think, and Mr. David said, ATD was agreeable, they wanted to help out the county. They just need an estimate as to the cost of any, lighting structures and,
We don't have the lighting structures yet, or the cost of what it would take to power them up. We were looking at about 10 lights, so then I'll work with our staff to see what type of.
I think what we can propose is, maybe not the entire 10, I guess we can go for 10, but I think the primary goal is to get power from them.
Right.
The county may have to purchase, some lighting,
Yes.
but I'd like to have access to their power and not have the county have to run a long power line to get, or install another meter, to get
Right.
power to those, lighting.
Then, because it has not been, because the map here is very, very vague, with, the description of where the easement's gonna be, at least from cause there's no, oh yeah, there's the coordinates there.
I think what they would like is a sketch of the trail, with the number of lights and, how much power we're gonna provide to them, the power usage. If we could provide that, then we can move forward with it.
We can do that for the next meeting that, we've done the commissioner's court, so if you wanna, I don't know, if you wanna approve it, pending, I guess, table it for the next meeting, or if you wanna approve it.
Well, they're, I wouldn't say uptight, but they're in a hurry to get it approved, I guess.
But
It's been
if you
several
wanna
months.
approve it, pending the submittal, like, if we get it before the next meeting, we can.
I think we should approve it with, I guess, a minimum amount of lighting that we would like and include the power for those lights, on the trail, which is not gonna be substantial,
Right.
So, we'll send that in, we can approve it, make a motion to that effect.
Mr. Ozan, for sure, there's no intersection of the trail with the easement,
No.
correct? Where we would have to be building something on or over.
No.
No, it's almost right on the fence line on the property, so it's like 50 feet. So basically, they're gonna run a cable from one power pole to there.
Okay.
Well, we'd like to run an underground cable, preferably, from their, light meter to power at least part of the trail or all of the trail. So
I see.
that's
That's
the barter, I guess that's.
Perfect.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, by Commissioner Solis, second by Commissioner Mendoza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We will submit a sketch, Mr. Gonzalez, to Mr. David Petrick.
Yes, I'll get the information from.
And we'll ask for all 10 lights and power those lights, I think, in our request. Item number 23 is to review the construction progress of the Flores Drainage Project, precinct number 1, and approve invoices.
Judge and Commissioners, on precinct 1, the contractor's been working on the, construction of the drainage channel that's there by, Florida Street. From the last, meeting to this meeting, what they've been able to accomplish is, building the retaining wall on both sides.
I've seen that, yes, it's going very nicely.
Retaining walls have been, placed, and right now they have an invoice for $1,500 for, Guzman Juarez backhoe service. and there's one for $500 for us. So it's a
Okay.
total of $2,000 for this project at this.
It is moving along. Yeah, that certainly would help that subdivision once it's,
Which one
especially
moved?
that homeowner that gets affected directly.
Second
Motion by
motion for
Commissioner
$2,000.
Garza, seconded by Commissioner Solis, to approve invoice for $2,100 to Guzman Backhoe and $500 to Premier Engineering. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 24 is update and approve invoices for the Falcon Lake raw water intake construction for water service to Zapata County. Mr. Gonzalez, I know you've been busy and appreciate your help and your company's help in securing that water for our community.
Yes, the contractors have been working out there, constructing a temporary, location for a diesel portable pump to be placed in the case that the lake continues to, I guess, go down lower than our intake structure can handle.
What
Right
company
now,
is this? What company is this?
we have two companies. We have, JC Investments and we have Hawk Oil Fuel Services. Those are the two companies that have been working out there. We've been getting, Hawk Oil Fuel Services have been, provided a track hoe and, loader and some equipment to be able to construct the temporary berm into the Falcon, reservoir. The reservoir has been receding significantly and, the edge of the, reservoir's lake, it has been silted up over the years and maybe has about 15 foot, 18 foot of silted. It will make it extremely difficult for our crews to put in a portable pump, and then as the water recedes, to continue following the water's edge. In 20 years ago or more, when we had similar condition, it was
It
not.
wasn't as bad, the mud wasn't as deep or.
Right, and it was very difficult for them to get to that point with what
I
they.
think in this, Commissioner, I'm sorry, this will be part of the emergency funding request, so,
Do
we
you have the
are.
total?
No, we.
Let me provide you, if I may approve.
No, Mr. Gonzalez has been handling.
Where? These invoices?
No, this is, I can get you copies of the invoices, I have the.
Just so we can know the total.
Yes, I have the totals, but I'll go over it. This is a breakdown. This is a breakdown for, an emergency application for USDA for, funding for this construction that's been going on. We did put, we put some items in there so that, we could, be able to put in, I'd like to put some concrete out there so that every time the water gets to a lower level than our current permanent intake structure can handle, we can put in the pump, the backup pump at the river's edge and still be able to draw water and, be able to provide the water that the community needs. So the items there before you, we have a concrete slab, 20 by 180. We have a raw water pump. That raw water pump is a electric, driven type pump. We currently own a diesel pump. We would like to, put on our application an electric pump. It is a lot cheaper for the county to run an electric pump out there than a diesel pump. We have it for extreme emergencies, and it's served us in the past, and I think we'll continue serving, but we do need a backup to our backup, because once we do go to that diesel pump, that's gonna be our only source of water. We have some flex hosing and a meter. We did put in for a 5-yard loader to be able to move the pump down there. The road going down to the pump location is very steep, and in lieu of concreting that whole ramp downwards, which is about 600 feet, we put in for a loader so that we can hook it up.
Like the one county has, I think that would allow us to move it.
We can move that pump down there a lot easier with the loader, and, be able to, any sludge that builds over the years on our concrete slab can be easily cleaned out, and then you'd already have a permanent structure at a level that's gonna be able to provide water that we need. We have the stone burn construction, that's work that's been ongoing right now, but I put a budget so that we have some kind of budget. We have materials and equipment for that burn construction. We have electrical upgrades for the intake structure. We do need to put in a automatic transfer switch once we put that other pump. And we have an additional backup generator for the new motor that we're proposing, so if power goes out, that generator keeps it working. And then we have a engineering report that we have to provide, engineering plans and specs, and then construction phase services, which we've currently already been helping the contractors out there. The invoices for.
So this has been submitted, has already to?
No, this is the budget that we have on our USDA application.
I know, but has it been submitted to the agency for approval or no?
Well, the agencies has like, a lot of different forms that they need that goes, this is the budget that's on the application.
And then you'll put, I guess, place it in all those application forms, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
This is your budget.
Well, is that I get calls from the congressman's
Yeah, so
office all the time.
This is the budget, they can view from their end.
Okay.
Where we're at on
Okay.
the application stage. So every step that we've moved along the application process, they're able to view at the same time that we're able to view. So they can see where we're at. So the budget is there for them to view. And so then they'll have an idea of what we're requesting in terms of budget, but there's other forms and, I guess, requirements that they have to be able to get funding from the agency. The invoice from Hawk Oilfield Services, we have, at this point, for the work completed up to Thursday, it's for $11,166, and it was for, mobilization of the excavator equipment, for, building of the, stone or concrete, structure that we have out there, and then for the, on the different days that they've worked out there for about, they started on July 28th when they mobilized, and they've been out there until, this past Friday. And, we have also.
For Hawk Riding?
That, well, the Hawk,
For Hawk.
Hawk was
Okay.
11,166. JC Investments, we have a total of $38,253.50, and that is also from July 29th through August the 4th. And it is for the material that was provided to be able to construct the berm, for loader equipment, a backhoe, and for, I guess, construction crews to be able to assist with
I guess the hauling too, yeah.
the hauling.
So there is a charge for the material also?
There is a charge for the material, the hauling, the workers, the, and,
We're gonna have to pay for them, included in the reimbursement.
Motion to approve. I'll second the motion, Judge.
Motion to approve invoices as presented. And, is there another one for your engineering company?
Not at this point.
Not yet, not,
Not yet,
okay.
but-
Got a motion by Commissioner Solis, second by Commissioner Mendoza. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Item number 25 is to update and approve invoices on the Falcon Lake raw water intake construction for water services to the Siesta Shores Water District. And Commissioners, Siesta Shores, of course, a small water district, did not have any emergency funding to make the renovations to their situation. So we've always in a position to help our that water district. So this is what this is about. But they're also applying for $1 million in emergency funding, and certainly it looks good for them receiving that grant. And of course, they would in turn reimburse the county for any expenses that we help them with.
How much money we're talking about?
Right, well, right now, all that they've been able to, I guess, because their project is different than the county's. It's a similar situation, but the county is going into the water's edge 55, 60 feet. They're having to go in about 2,100 feet. So it's a different, I guess, different type of construction. They've currently acquired some pipe, some flex poly pipe, so that they can use for their intake structure. They're gonna move. They have a floating barge. We don't. We have a fixed structure. Their floating barge, they've been moving it out further and further into the river as the water has receded. And they acquired additional piping to move the barge further in, and they've made a request to purchase longer electrical cable to be able to continue to move that into the rivers, I guess into the river, or keep it in the river. That, so far, the electrical wiring and construction, they have not constructed it yet, they still have what they have, they've ordered it, there's $70,000, and then the piping, they've not made the request to the county officially yet. What they wanted to request the county is for assistance, or like, to let them know
Yes.
officially that they're gonna need assistance.
I think,
And so it'll go
they
through their
reached
board.
out to me and I said absolutely, in an emergency situation, as they're in, that they need to make, we will partner with them in any aspect, so, they're not an amount, I think, we do have an agreement with them.
So they wanted to make an official, like, I guess, request to the county that they were gonna need assistance, while they're also applying for funding, as the county is applying for funding. They're applying as a separate entity, but in the meantime, they have to pay the contractors, they would.
Who's the contractor?
They have, well, the suppliers of the pipe, and then, some of the work they've been doing themselves. I think, there was two companies that helped them, Guzman, what is, backhoe service helped them a little bit, the beginning, and then they had another company, Matthias,
Matthias, they're, all of them have been local contractors, Commissioner, which, is good for our community, but,
Yeah.
they've been very receptive and helpful, all the contractors that we've been reaching out to.
Those are the main, I guess, contractors that have been working. The others are supplies and materials
Yes.
that they've been, trying. They do have a meeting coming up this
I think
month.
we're probably looking at maybe $100,000, Commissioners, that the county would be funding, Sister Shores until they, if and when they receive their reimbursement.
Yeah, because it says that to approve the invoice, but really, we don't know how much.
No, I think
So
what
that's
they're
why
wanting is a
like,
commitment
on
from
the
the county.
motion,
Yeah.
I guess on the item, it says to approve the invoice, but it's, I guess if, there is no invoice to approve at this point.
How we gonna approve it?
We just, maybe we can approve a commitment.
You can just, I'll bring the invoice to the next Commissioners Court meeting. Once it's been presented to their board, and their board approves it on their behalf, then we submit it to the county.
Well, I'll make a motion to table it.
That's
Okay,
fine.
motion to table by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Elizondo. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion tabled. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you for all your work. I know we took a trip to the valley.
Yes, we've been at it since before the 29th. The 29th is when they officially started working, but, once the water started going down, it has been receding slower than it was before. I checked from last week to this week, and it went down maybe about 7 inches, where it had been going down a little over a foot per week.
Yeah.
And so that is helpful. We still have our permanent intake structure for the county operational. We do have an interconnect that the county and Sister Shores did an MOU on, and they are interconnected, so if Sister Shores, would get into a point where they can't get water, the county can provide them water to have I guess, a sustainable for
your-
everyday use, but not, we're under, I guess, stage 4 drought conditions or water conservation measures, so the community has been helping, and I think we have noticed that the usage has gone down, and I think, we'd like to continue that, water conservation measures.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Sir. Item number 26 is to consider additional funds for Zapata County Museum from the general fund. Commissioners, the museum in the budget this year had an allocation of $40,000 from the hotel motel fund and $25,000 from the general fund. The advance from the general fund has been made to the museum. The request from the hotel motel funds it brings up some issues as to whether those funds can be used to sustain a museum, their administration, cost of the museum, or whether we should be funding the museum directly from the general fund and funding any events that would bring out visitors from other communities and stay in our hotels. Then the county could move forward and fund those events on their own, including administrative costs, but whether or not the county can fund them directly from the hotel motel fund is an issue. And I advised the museum director and board and the board of directors that I think moving forward, I think it'd probably be better if the funding came directly from the general fund. Any events that the museum may have during the year, then they could request additional funding from the hotel motel fund. So they've got $40,000 in the hotel motel fund that I think is up for discussion, whether we can actually allocate to them, or should the monies come from the general fund. I don't know, Counselor, you might wanna chime in on that one.
Judge, the court has to be able to identify that there is some form of function that's being promoted, that there's some event that this particular expenditure of funds would help improve the individuals coming to visit Zapata County. So the county would have to be able to tie in that with the expenditure of those monies. So if the court, it's probably, if it's just for operation alone, Judge, it's probably a very gray area there, whether it would be or not, Judge.
And that's why I feel that if we go with general fund funding, that would be, I think, the right way to follow. And of course, during the year, any events that these organizations might bring and host, that would bring individuals, visitors from other communities and to stay in our hotel, then certainly they could approach the court and say, you know, we're bringing in this event, we'd like $5,000 for administrative fees, for promotional fees. I think those certainly the court would be able to provide them with that.
That would be more in line with proper expenditures.
I make a motion to approve an additional $25,000 to the county museum from the general fund. Seconded by Commissioner Elizondo. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. So an additional $25,000. I see Dr. Flores and Zapata. So we'll be funding the museum from our general fund, and any events in the future, certainly you can approach the court for hotel motel fund, and we'll move forward like that. Thank you. We have some consent items. We have a street light on 2101 Delmar Street for precinct 2. And then we have 2 street lights for precinct 4, 1312 4th Street and 1504 3rd Street.
Motion to approve 29 and 30.
29 and 30, and then we have line item transfers that they're considerable amount. Commissioner, you want to approve them all?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve them all.
Second.
Okay, motion to, by Commissioner Solis to approve all consent items 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We've got 2 executive session items.
I'll make a motion to go to executive session.
Motion by Commissioner Garza to enter to executive session, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. The items to be heard are item number 27. It's an update and possible action on border wall litigation. And item number 28, to discuss and take possible action regarding personnel matters in the Road and Bridge Department. And these items are requested pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney, and 551.074, personnel matters. We are now in executive session.